Hi, I'm Paul McGowan, and we're talking today about the PerfectWave Transport and the PerfectWave DAC, and we're going to focus on the PerfectWave DAC today. The Transport, as you know, is a memory player, and we're feeding the output of the Transport to the DAC through I²S, which we talked about in the PerfectWave video. So the music that you hear through here is going through the DAC, and Allison is playing here. So we'll turn that down. So let's go through some of the features on the DAC. The DAC is actually a DAC pre, which means that you don't need a preamp. In fact, as we like to say, there's no preamp like no preamp. So this is the slider volume control. And you can see that as I move it back and forth, we can have, and your standard mute function on here. Now I'll turn that down so I can talk. What else you can do on the front panel of this DAC is change the sample rate. So if we zoom in here, and we can see that we're at 44.1 right now. As we click over, we can do 48, 88, 96, 176, 192, and native. Now native is something pretty interesting. Most DACs, I'd say 99% of them, run all of the data through a sample rate converter, and that's how we get these higher resolution sample rates. Well, if you're using I²S, as you do in the PS PerfectWave system, the sample rate converter is not necessary. In fact, it'll sound better without the sample rate converter, and it's easy to try. With your remote or through the touchscreen, you can change it from native to 44.1 or any other sample frequency, and you'll find that in the native mode, this sounds tremendously better. It's a really interesting experiment, because sample rate converters do data conversion that isn't really healthy for the signal. Now it's good if you're going to go in a non-I²S manner. In other words, if you're going to go in with digital, optical, AES, EBU, or coax, then the sample rate converter will sound better. But if we're going in what is native to the PS audio system, I²S, then you're going to want to use native. But all your choices are right here in the front panel. We also give you a choice of the filters. You can choose gentle or sharp filter, and that's the digital filter on there, each one still giving you a very interesting difference that you'll hear depending on the system. You can change the phase, which is actually the polarity on here, as you can see. And now let's look at the inputs. As we go down here, you'll notice that we can choose a number of different inputs. What's really cool about these inputs, and there are a number of them, is that we can go through and name them anything we want. Notice how we have an alphabet here? This one is somebody, we're at a CES show and somebody named it TYU. So we could call it RTY and just say submit. Okay, and now that's what it's called. So you can name the inputs anything you want. Now I would choose something like my Sony, my PerfectWave Transport. As you can see, we're on the PerfectWave Transport. That's just something that we named it. That actually happens to be the BNC input, but you can name it anything you want. Now, one of the more fascinating bits of this DAC, and this is going to take a little bit of understanding, is that this DAC can become a music server quite simply by just going to another input. One of the inputs on the DAC is called music server. Now watch what happens. I'll turn the volume up, and you notice we're on the music server. So how do we access the music server? There's no hard drive inside of this. This is a true two-channel high-end DAC, one of the best sounding ones out there. So by just switching over to this input, what you're doing is going to the network input, which is done through the network bridge that we've installed in the back. And that's available by wired or wireless access to any network storage device. So you can just go down and purchase any kind of NAS, which is a network attached storage, put all your music on it in any format, FLAC, WAV, MP3, at any resolution and any bit rate. And what will come through here will sound absolutely every bit as good as what comes through the PerfectWave Transport. So let me show you something pretty cool. I have an iPhone here. This could be an iPod Touch. And I'm going to access our application on here, and you'll notice the first thing it does is it finds the PS Music Server. Now that happens to just be an off-the-shelf $300 1 terabyte drive that we have it on, and we just named it the PS Music Server. So I click on Music, and let's go to over here, we'll go to All Tracks, and you can see on here, here's all my tracks. And we'll have cover art on here, and let's see, here's Coldplay. I like Coldplay, so let's pick Coldplay. Now we'll pick the device. We choose the device, and Coldplay. And this is at full resolution. If we want to, we can choose to look at the real-time data. As you can see on the screen here, this is full two-way communication. We know how much time has gone by, how much time we have left. Let's say we want to choose the next song. We just click that, and the next song appears. So not only is the PS DAC one of the best 2-channel high-end DACs in the world, connecting up through I2S with a choice of all kinds of sample rates, but it's also a music server. By simply selecting one of the inputs, you have a full music server. Download the app onto your iPhone or your iPod Touch, and you have full access throughout your home for any kind of music you have recorded on a hard drive. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch, and we'll talk to you later.